Recently, an article published by the New York Times goes viral on the internet, named "To Fall in Love with Anyone, Do This." This article is mainly about how to set up an intimate relationship with a stranger in 45 minutes. 纽约时报的一篇情感专栏文章，只要你这么做，想爱上任何人都可以，最近被广为转发。文章的主旨可以总结为怎样在45分钟内快速和陌生人相爱。Do you think it is possible? Because a lot of people think it's not.Well,
at first, I totally dismissed the idea, but as I look at the questions, it's actually quite carefully designed that through the answers of these questions, I think you'll figure out a basic contour of what the other person believes in and also his family background and all those kind of things. So yes, I think it's a fast way to let you know the other person relatively well.
Well, it's just really interesting because this is based on the work of a psychologist, actually 20 years ago. And so what he did was he wrote a thesis and he did an experiment called Experimental Generation of Interpersonal Closeness, a procedure and some preliminary findings. And so really he just wanted to see that if it was possible for total strangers to go through a given set of questions, taking time to answer them and getting to know each other and see what would happen, what are the reported findings, but also follow up as the years goes on and see if their relationship develops anything. And this is what was so interesting. And so if we just look at the results, 30% of the students said that after talking about these 36 questions one by one, the relationship with the stranger partner was already closer than any of the relationships they had ever had, right?
Interesting.
And so they developed a stronger bond with someone they didn't know after doing this. And then even later on, 35% of these students started to date each other, and even a couple got married 6 months later. And so I think that if we just look at these findings, there is some strong evidence to suggest that these 36 questions are very powerful. But then if you look at even the way that they're organized, it makes a lot of sense. And there's three different groups. So the first group is really just about surface, describing your personality, your likes and your dislikes. And then the second group is talking about your outlook on life. What do you want in the future? What's really important to you. And then this is where it gets really interesting. The third set, so you've already developed a sense of familiarity with this person that you're talking with, and then the third and final set deals with your relationship with the person you're talking with right now. And I think that's really where, these questions become really powerful.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And this could be the secret recipe to a speed dating event, I'm thinking like that, or a matchmaking event, if it's carefully designed. But I still kind of question the effectiveness of it, because, this is an experiment, of course, and in it, strangers are asking and answering these questions. But how large of a chance is it that in real life you would ask strangers this kind of questions and also answer it honestly?
You wouldn't. That's the whole point. I mean, this is all completely artificial.
And that's the whole thing. But so in a controlled environment, you can say that it can take 45 minutes for you to almost love a person.
Yeah, but actually I think here a stranger, this variable is just here for experimental purpose only. And I think it's about really trying to find out what sort of if you guys share the same views or value, and there are so many other ways one can find that out if you're not strangers and you're in a real life setting. So I think this is what essentially it's about, just finding out what you guys have in common in the very basics that you believe in.
Yeah, and the thing is, so looking at the results, 30% felt closer to that stranger than they did before, 35% went on to date, and even one couple got married. This is only out of 36 people, right? There's only 12 pairs. So it's a fairly small subject group. But also the point of the questions wasn't to see if people were going to fall in love. The point was, can we design an activity where two people with no prior knowledge can feel closer to each other? But then I was thinking, what if you were to ask your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your spouse these questions? What if you were to sit down for an hour with your significant other and go through these things? I imagine that you would be very close, you'd feel much, much closer at the end of it.
I agree with that. And to prove the effectiveness of these 36 questions, I suggest that We
What do you suggest, Xiaohua? I don't like where this is going.
Two of our panelists, John and He Yang, tried this little recipe out a little bit. You know, you don't have to go through the whole 36 questions because there's not enough time of that. But, you know, why don't you guys try to pick one or two questions from each category, or maybe from the first category if you don't want to go so far into each other's lives and try to answer them, and shall we?
All right, well, I'll ask He Yang a question first. So before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you are going to say, and why?
I think I'll make up a basic plan in mind because I don't think I'm a master of words and I leave bits out here and there. So I'd like to make the call efficient. So I planned the thing out.
Yeah, for me, I guess it really depends on how important the call is. If it's just calling one of my friends saying, hey, how's it going? What are you doing? Let's go get a drink. I'm not going to rehearse for that. But if I was like in high school or university and I'm asking a girl out, I'll be thinking about it probably all day. Trying to figure out what I'm going to say. If it's a business call, like for work here or something, usually I might end up even taking notes before I get on the phone because more than likely I'll probably forget something.
Yeah,
that's a very full answer, John. And for me, because I don't chat on the phone, so probably only plans.
Okay, I have another question that's on the list for you guys. Can you name 3 things that you and He Yang, that you two share in common, appear to have in common?
We're very loud.
What?
Yeah.
You are loud.
You're pretty
loud, and then you can, fight back.
You're loud.
We are, not you are. So use the words we.
Sorry. So we are loud.
Nope.
We can be very friendly.
Really, John?
And we can be very annoying.
No, never for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it shows that we are not compatible at all, and thank God.
What? That's what you have in common? No, you're supposed to answer the 3 we have something in common.
We both speak English, and well, my Chinese is better than yours, obviously, and I think we're good people deep down. I can't think of a third one.
Yeah, there was only 2.
Okay.
And we're both not good at math.
I'm not good.
You both pretend to hate each other while you love each other.
No, that's not the case at all. And John's married, so
sure. It's just quote unquote love.
Filial love. All right.
All right. Don't know what that means, but that's
family,
all the time we have for this edition of
like a
Roundtable.
sister.
Okay, keep on discussing while we're off air.